In the heart of the eastern part of Nigeria, nestled among rolling hills and lush forests, lay the village of Omuocha. It was a peaceful place, known for its vibrant culture and rich traditions. The villagers were proud of their heritage, and music was the lifeblood of their community. No one brought that music to life like Chinedu, the young drummer. Before we dive into this story, please consider subscribing to my channel, turning on notifications, and letting me know where you're watching from in the comments. Chinedu was a master of the ekwe, a traditional wooden drum. His rhythms could make the old dance, the young laugh, and even the birds stop to listen. But despite his talent, Chinedu carried a heavy heart. He was deeply in love with Adana, the daughter of Chief Okonkwo, the village leader. Adana was as beautiful as the sunrise, with a voice that could calm a storm. She loved Chinedu too, but her father was a proud and stubborn man. A drummer is no match for a chief's daughter, Chief Okonkwo would say. You must marry a warrior or a wealthy trader, not a man who spends his days beating a drum. Chinedu tried to prove his worth. He worked harder, played louder, and even offered gifts to the chief, but nothing changed. Adana would often sneak out to meet him under the moonlight, where they would talk and dream of a life together. One day, Chinedu would say, "I will show your father that I am worthy of you." Adana would smile, but her eyes were filled with worry. One fateful day, disaster struck Omuocha. A strange illness swept through the village, leaving people weak and lifeless. The healers tried every herb and potion, but nothing worked. The once lively village grew silent, and fear spread like wildfire. Chief Okonkwo, desperate to save his people, called a meeting in the village square. "Whoever can cure this illness," he declared, "will be rewarded with anything they desire." The villagers murmured among themselves, but no one stepped forward. Chinedu, standing at the back of the crowd, felt a spark of hope. He remembered an old story his grandmother had told him about the Drum of Unity, a magical drum hidden deep in the forest. It was said that the drum's sound could heal any sickness, but only if played with a pure heart and true love. That night, Chinedu packed a small bag and set off for the forest. The path was treacherous, and the trees seemed to close in around him. The forest was alive with strange sounds, the hoot of an owl, the rustle of leaves, and the distant howl of the wind. But Chinedu pressed on, guided by the memory of Adana's smile. After days of searching, he finally found the cave where the drum was said to be hidden. At its entrance stood a wise old tortoise, its shell glistening in the dim light. "Many have sought this drum," the tortoise said in a slow, deep voice, "but few have succeeded. To play it, you must prove that your love is true." Chinedu knelt before the tortoise and poured out his heart. He spoke of his love for Adana, his desire to heal his village, and his willingness to sacrifice anything for their happiness. The tortoise listened carefully, its ancient eyes studying Chinedu's face. Finally, it nodded. "Take the drum, but remember, its power lies in your heart, not in the drum itself." With the drum in hand, Chinedu rushed back to the village. The journey felt shorter, as if the forest itself was guiding him home. When he arrived, the village was eerily quiet. The huts were empty, and the streets were deserted. Chinedu's heart sank as he realized how much the illness had taken hold. He ran to the village square, where a few weak villagers had gathered. Among them was Adana, her face pale but her eyes still bright with hope. "Chinedu," she whispered, "you came back?" Chinedu nodded and began to play the drum. At first, the sound was faint, barely a whisper. But as Chinedu focused on his love for Adana and his village, the rhythm grew stronger and more powerful. The music filled the air, weaving through the huts and trees, touching every corner of Omuocha. One by one, the villagers began to rise. The color returned to their cheeks, and their eyes sparkled with life. Even Chief Okonkwo, who had been bedridden, stood up, his strength restored. The village erupted in cheers, and for the first time in weeks, the sound of laughter filled the air. Chief Okonkwo approached Chinedu, tears in his eyes. "You have saved us all," he said. "I was wrong to judge you by your station. A man with a heart as pure as yours is worthy of my daughter's hand." Chinedu and Adana were married in a grand ceremony, and the village celebrated for days. The drum of unity was placed in the center of the village, a reminder of the power of love and the importance of looking beyond appearances. From that day on, Chinedu's music became even more beautiful, infused with the joy of a heart that had found its home. And Adana's voice, now free to sing openly, joined his rhythms, creating a harmony that echoed through the hills and forests of Omuocha. The villagers would often gather to listen, their hearts full of gratitude and love. And whenever someone asked how the village had been saved, they would smile and say, "It was the power of love that healed the broken drum." This tale teaches us that true love and a pure heart have the power to overcome even the greatest challenges. Chinedu's journey shows us that it's not wealth, status, or strength that defines a person's worth, but their courage, kindness, and willingness to sacrifice for others. The drum of unity symbolizes the healing power of love and community. When we act with selflessness and genuine care, we can bring people together, heal wounds, and create harmony. Chief Okonkwo's change of heart reminds us to look beyond appearances and recognize the value in everyone, no matter their station in life. Ultimately, the story reminds us that love is the greatest force of all. It can heal, unite, and transform even the most broken situations. Let us strive to live with open hearts, valuing love and unity above all else.